Hi everyone. Okay, good. My mic is working. Oh, well, let me get my mic a little bit closer so you can hear me a little bit better. I forgot to do that. So while I'm doing that, hi everybody. My name is Dina. There we go. Now you might be able to hear me a little bit better. A little bit closer to the mic this time. All right, so my name is Dina. I am the owner of Artistic Creations by Dina, and I do YouTube lives. I do tutorials on how to make jewelry, and I have my own little collections that I call creative color collections and designer collections and things like that. So if you're not familiar with me, hello. Drop in and say hi. So I would love to hear from you. So yeah, so really what we do on these lives, I go through kind of what I've done over the last couple of weeks, because I usually come on every other week. So I go through what I've done over the last couple of weeks. Sometimes it's, things that I've done on the channel. Other times it's things that are more personal. So we'll kind of talk about a little bit of personal stuff, medical wise and stuff like that. That's been going on. And then after that, I'll go over my creative color challenge for the month of June, which it has slightly changed. So I'm kind of excited about that. And I hope you're going to be excited about it too. Then we'll go through and I'll probably use the Bargain Bead Box for June this month, which is strawberry. I don't even know if I'm going to say it right. Soirée, I think that's how you say it. So I'm going to end up doing that. Oh, hey, Jenny. Popping in to say, and I'm about to go read with Mom. It's usual time. Yep. Say hi to Mom for me. So, but thanks for stopping by, sweetie. I love it. Then speaking of Jenny, I'm going to talk a little bit about Gemstone Orphanage's thing that's coming up over in the next, actually 2 weeks. Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks from Monday is when the first video goes live. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. So while everybody else is trying to get in and say hi and all of that, if you are able to say hello, then do so. If you're not, I have it set up to where you have to be a subscriber for at least an hour. I used to do 2 hours, but I've changed it to an hour because there's every once in a while a time, or actually most times recently that I've been staying on for a little bit over an hour, but I usually don't hit that 2 hour mark. So if you subscribe right at the beginning, a lot of times you're not able to say anything until the next live. So I've changed it to an hour. That way, hopefully that'll allow some people to say hello towards the end of the live and everything. So, but after I go through all of that, I'll get that Bargain Bead Box out and we'll just start making some things out of that. Not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. Not even sure exactly. I mean, I've looked at the Bargain Bead Box, but I haven't really looked at it that much. Mainly because it kind of follows through to what I'm going to talk about now. So medical wise, I, in the month of June, almost every single day that I have a day off from the pharmacy, which I have 5 days off every 2 weeks, where 2 of those days are a weekend. So a Saturday, Sunday. So the other 3 days out of those 2 weeks, I have doctor's appointments almost every single day. There is a medical thing that I didn't really want to talk about too much, but I'll kind of mention it now because it's really nothing serious, but it could lead to a serious thing if it's not taken care of. So me working in the medical field, for those that don't know, I am a retail pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for 17 years. And I have worked in a pharmacy for 29 years. So, started working in a pharmacy, decided, yes, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to go into. And then got myself into pharmacy school, finally got myself out, so on and so forth. So fast forward 29 years, here we are. So, with that being the case, a lot of medical people have problems with varicose veins and spider veins. And if you don't know what those are veins that can pop out, are the varicose veins. If you see veins that are popping out in your legs that are very blue, sometimes they can be very painful. That's also that if they're painful, that's also a huge red flag that if you have painful veins, you need to go talk to your doctor. That's one of those things. So that's basically what the varicose veins look like. The spider veins look almost exactly what you would think a spider web would look like. And they're just little blue veins that just kind of go from wherever it's at. So I've had one or the other or both for probably a couple of decades now. So probably about 20 years or so is when they started to kind of pop up and everything. And it hasn't really been that big of a deal because I've never had any pain from it. Well, more recently, within the last 8 months or so, I've been noticing that my left leg is a little bit more swollen than my right leg, which can be several different factors. But it's one of those things. Hey, Don, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? But it's one of those things that I knew it wasn't really anything serious, but it's also one of those things with me having a little bit more of a medical knowledge brain that I knew it could lead to something serious. So it's just gotten to that point now that I'm like, okay, I need to get this taken care of. So the procedure itself is actually pretty simple. It doesn't cause a whole lot of pain afterwards. It's more of a discomfort type thing. It's almost kind of weird because I did my left leg last week and I do my right leg next week. So the day, actually about the two days after the procedure itself, I was uncomfortable because I had to go back to work and I had an 11-hour shift that day. So it was very uncomfortable because I had to wear the compression stocking and everything and all of that. So, and I feel your pain too, by the way. Are you having a vein ablation? Yes, I did. That's what it was. I did the vein ablation. And, but yeah, the pain itself is not, it's not like unbearable to where you can't do anything. It's just uncomfortable. So it's just one of those things. Oh, that's okay, Jenny. I mean, it's one of those things, I kind of knew that's what it was from because I talked to the doctor about it and everything, what causes this and all that. And he said that's a lot of what it is that you're on your feet all the time and you're not sitting and you're not, I mean, I'm still walking around a lot in the pharmacy, but it's not the same. So it's not the same for people that don't have that problem and things like that. So it could lead to bad circulation issues. As like I also have a skipping heartbeat, and I'm almost kind of wondering, now don't quote me on this part, I'm almost kind of wondering if that has something to do with it. It probably doesn't because there again, the skipping heartbeat is caused by something completely different. So it probably doesn't have anything to do with that. But it would be nice that if I get this fixed, that gets fixed too. But, it's one of those things. I didn't get Charlie horses in the inside of my leg, and I never had that before. Yep, pay attention to, the swelling and everything. Yep, that's definitely, that was when I was kind of like, all right, something is going on, when my left leg was getting a little bit more swollen than my right. It was never a whole lot of swelling, but it was enough to be noticeable that you can look at my left leg and look at my right leg and my ankles especially, and you could say, all right, why is your left leg bigger than your right? So it was, it was one of those things. I was just like, okay, something's going on. So that's what I've been doing. But it does take some time. So usually the vein ablation is the first visit. Then you have to go in for a follow-up visit. And then there's a potential to where I'll have to go back and do even more follow-up visits so the doctor can actually finish closing off all the veins. So if I had a before and after picture, then I would show you, but I don't because it looked kind of bleh. It's like I haven't worn shorts outside of the house in probably maybe 5 or 6 years now. It was that much to where I felt like it was embarrassing to me. But the leg itself looks almost, I would say it's probably 90% better than what it was. There's a lot of bruising that I have on my leg right now, but outside of that, the vein itself looks amazing. The part that I had, because I had probably a section in my leg that was probably about that big around, that was just complete varicose veins, and it was right there on my shin, so straight and center. So it was, one of those things. But But my left leg is looking much better. It's if I sit for too long, so I might end up actually getting up and kind of walking around my room every once in a while. So I may do that, but I'll be talking to y'all if I do that. But if I sit too long, then it starts to kind of cramp up a little bit. So I have to move around for a little while, and walking actually does help. So Mom's ready, gonna run. Okay, bye, Jenny. Thanks for stopping in, sweetie. But yeah, so that's gonna happen, and then next week I do my right leg, and then after that I go in for another follow-up and things like that. So that's the main reason why I'm not able to get a whole lot of videos out lately. I think I had a video come out on Monday, which is for my creative color challenge, so we'll go into that here next. But that is probably the first video in a month, or maybe a little over a month, that I had come out. So unfortunately, it's one of those things you got to kind of take care of yourself before you can actually continue on and take care of others. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. So I have probably at least another 2, maybe 3 or 4 weeks of the doctor's appointments and everything before I'm all said and done and everything's back to normal. So just stick with me. I promise I will still have more tutorials out. I'll have more videos out. I just need to get through this before I can really focus back on making the videos and things like that again. So things will get better video wise and all. Just, stick with me, bear with me for a little bit longer, and we'll get going. So, Creative Color Challenge. I wish I had my card. I think I put my cards back up. Of course I did. Anyways, if you don't know what the Creative Color Challenge is, it is a poll that I set up on the 15th of every month that you get to choose from 2 different color palettes. The color palettes are cards that come from the color cube that is from Sarah Renee Clark, and she produces these color cubes that have pictures on them to where, in fact, I'll just show you a picture of a generic one. I just happen to have one out right now. Get this to where I can switch it to that one. There we go. Oh, you can see part of it right there. Okay, sneak peek. So this is what the color cube cards look like. So there's a picture of some sort. It's always numbered, and then it's got the different colors from that picture itself. On the back of the card, you have the different hex codes, and then you have a what are they called? A hue and a shade, I think it is, or something like that. Basically, one of them is where you add a little extra white to the color. So this is the same color as this color over here. And then you would add a little extra white to it. And then this is where you would add gray to it. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a color way that you can go by. And then what I end up doing in the past, I would go through my products and pick out things that would match this color scheme. And then I would put things together as a kit or a collection. And then you're able to purchase that collection if you like to, or that kit, depending on what it is that I was making, out of my Etsy shop. So what I've done differently this time is, instead of doing things from my stash, I actually went out and I've been purchasing specific things that go along with that specific theme. So, there are a few still of my own personal stash items, things that I have a whole lot of, but there's not as much. I'd say probably that only makes that like maybe 10%, maybe 20% of the collections now, and the majority of it is things that I purchased to make it actually work together. So this first one that we have a color combination between what I'm calling the Italian Getaway and Sunset Fiesta. And I'm doing the Italian getaway because the picture of the Italian getaway was actually a Christmas picture. So it was different shades of red, different shades of green, and a shade of white. So with it being June, if it was in July, it would kind of make sense to do a Christmas thing. You can do Christmas in July type thing. But since it was a June release, I thought, well, what else can I do that's green, red, and white? First thing I thought of after that was the Italian flag. And I have this one backwards again. I videoed this one strand backwards, and I'll show you which one it is here in a minute. But that was where that came from. So with that being the case, I spent that whole time trying to get my mat looking right. So with that being the case, this is how this came about. Once I figured out I'm going to do an Italian theme, I then found this amazing bead right here. And it is a plain that is strung on the back, through the long part of the plane. So you have that opening in the back and everything. So you can see the wire sticking through. It's got CZs right here. And you can kind of sort of see them. It's hard to see with this camera because this camera doesn't zoom in very easily, but because I'm having to use my phone still. But you can see the CZs there on the plane, or on the wings of the plane and everything. So I found that, and I'm like, okay, perfect. We're going with that. So then I found the little porcelain turtles. I found those again, and then added some daggers because the daggers kind of looked like it was wings again. So I added different colored daggers. These are 2-hole daggers right here. And hey, Colleen, how you doing, sweetie? And then this was the other thing that I found. These are little passport charms. So it says passport. There we go. Now you can read it, I think. Passport. And then there's a little CZ down here. It's in the shape of a heart. So you get 2 of those little guys on this strand. It is just so cute. I thought that was just really kind of fun. So I was like, okay, well, that's where it all started off, was that. Then I found, thanks, Colleen. Yeah, this is the color cube, or the color challenge that you can vote in between. So I'm going to go through all the different strands and everything of this one, plus the Sunset Fiesta. So I'll do that one here in a minute. But these are actually quartz beads. So this is gemstone quartz, and they are in the shape of a tile bead. So it is a 2-hole tile in the same shape, or the same size as a tile bead. And then I added both the green and the red on either end to emulate the Italian flag, except when I recorded it this way. So I apologize to anybody that is Italian. I recorded it backwards. I apologize. I'm used to the red being first. I apologize. But anyways, so I believe the Italian flag is green, white, and red. If it's red, white, and green, then I don't know. I'll get things right eventually. But anyways, so I found half tilas, and I put those on either end. Then I thought, well, how are you going to attach that to anything? So I went ahead, and these are kind of pricey. So I spent a little extra, and I kind of went a little over budget with this particular collection. But I went and got some symbol findings. And then these symbol findings are specifically made for tila beads. So you can stick one right there in the middle. It works for the half tila, the quarter tila, and for the full tila. And then you can also put stuff over here off to the side because you have a hole sitting right here. So one of those things. So that's that strand. And then I went into the gemstone strand. And you get some agate beads. These are the Dizzy agates. I ended up finding these at Bargain Bead Box. So some of my things are from Bargain Bead Box. But I found these Dizzy agates, and I'm like, okay, those are really cool. It's just different. It's neat. They almost look like soccer balls in a way. And with the World Cup going on and everything, I thought, okay, that'd be kind of fun to put on there. Because I grew up playing soccer. I had played soccer for almost 15 years. And kind of wish that I never quit. But it's one of those things. You kind of get old and you can't play anymore. But anyways, so that's why those are sitting there. Those kind of reminded me of a soccer ball. So that's why that's there. And then we have some howlite. There's some howlite stars. You get some round howlite beads. And then we have green aventurine. So there are some faceted green aventurine. This is a little bit more facets on this strand, or this portion. And then these are English cut. And then the red beads are garnet. So you have some garnet beads on there. And I feel like I'm behind. She just hired me to retype. $50. Huh. Sorry about the delayed response, but my BFF just called. Oh, yeah, you gotta call them. You gotta talk to your BFF. Alrighty, so that was that strand. This one is just I found this bead here, and then I just needed to find some beads to kind of go along with it because I didn't just want to put a single bead in there. But I thought this was just kind of neat. It's different. It's, something fun. So I have some white cat's eye beads, and then just some generic glass green beads. And then these are like pony brand beads right here. So they're are pony style beads, but they're faceted around the edge, and they're like a rondelle. So that was just kind of a fun extra bead thing to do. And then I found these cubes. These are similar to cubes that I've had in the past, but I found some new ones. So I've got some transparent cubes, one that's more of a opaque cube, and then some drucks and triangles to go along with it. And then these, I just needed something to kind of, lighten the palette up a little bit. And, there's a bunch of white in here, but sometimes you just need a little crystal. So I have some really, really large crystal beads here. There's large crystal rondelle, and then these are like half frosted crystals. And then you get some of the spacers in between, the gold spacers. I'm going through this quickly, but there is an unboxing video, so I do go through this a little bit better in the unboxing video, which is actually in the description below, as well as the poll. So if you go to the description of this live and you click on the, I think it's show more. Is it show more? Hold on, where's my mouse? Oh, it just says started streaming 21 minutes ago. So you click on that where it says, give you more information. Then there's a couple of links down there to where you can vote, and then you can also watch the unboxings. So you can actually see the beads a little bit better up close and things like that. So these are some bicones. I love using bicones and bead weaving, so I try not to add too many bicones because I know a lot of people don't like bicones, but there are some bicones. And then these are chip beads, but they're also cat's eye again, so it goes along with the white cat's eye there, just a different shape. And then some sparkly, rhinestone-y, little itty bitty small beads. So that's that strand. And then, went through all the strands. Then, of course, there again, I love chips. I love working with chips. It's just a really nice way that if you have an expensive type of bead or expensive type of gemstone, and you don't want to spend, say, $50 for a strand, but yet you can buy a strand of chips and the chips are only $10, then yeah, I'm going to buy the chips. So I love working with chips. So I ended up was able to find all three of these, the howlite, the green aventurine, and the garnet. And so I just have a little small selection of all three of them in a nice little baggie. And then I found this amazing lampwork bead. Make the most beautiful strands. Oh, well, thank you, Colleen. So do you, by the way. And I was kind of upset that I didn't get a chance to get your last collection. It's okay though, because I love blue goldstone. Blue goldstone is one of my favorite gemstone, well, quote unquote gemstones to work with. I love blue goldstone. I have a lot of that in my stash. So, but this is and so I was kind of a little upset, but I was at work, it was one of those things. I kind of knew it was going to happen, that I wasn't going to be able to do it. And I even said it during your premiere. I was like, I'm at work. I can't be here for long. But anyways, so I found this amazing lampwork bead, and I'm having to put my hand underneath it so you could see the sparkle and everything in the lampwork. So these were really, really cool. I wanted to get enough for everybody to have two, but at the last minute, I'll kind of explain that a little bit, because I ended up buying, I think, 10 of these, I want to say, or maybe 12. I think it was 12. I ended up buying 12 of these guys. But at the last minute, I decided not to do 5 collections, but 5 collections, and also the ability of just doing individual pieces. So I'll have almost 5, if not 6, of each one of these strands in baggies, to where if you wanted to buy, say, just this one with the plane in it and the turtles, if you just wanted to get just that strand, or if you buy the collection and you wanted an extra strand of it, so maybe you can make a pair of earrings with the plane or something like that, then you could. So I decided to do that last minute. And when I went back I'm pretty sure I got this from Bargain Bead Box also. And when I went back to go see if I can get some more, she was already sold out. So that's why everybody's just getting the one. So I kind of felt bad about that I really wanted everybody to have two so you can make just a cute little pair of earrings out of this because it's nice and small and tiny. But at least everybody gets one so you can make just a cute little dainty necklace, charm or necklace or anything like that if you wanted to. So there's that. And then we have both antique brass and gold findings. And I did the two because I ended up getting the antique brass on the symbol findings, and then everything else was gold. So I ended up doing the two different things. So we go through a couple of these. I'm not going to show you all of it because it's typical findings. But you have this cute little earring. It's a huggy earring. So there's your CZs in the front. You have a loop down here in the bottom. And it's one of those that opens like that. So you get a pair of those. You get a toggle in here. You get some lobster clasps. There's some, a little bit of chain. It's only 4 lengths of chain in this one. And I did it that way only because it was a very large link. And I didn't really think it went totally with all the other beads and stuff like that because it feels like the links were just too big. So I only just put a few in there, and my thought was that you can break off this jump ring or this soldered ring because it is soldered. It's not a jump ring. I thought it was a jump ring at first, but it is soldered. You can cut that off and then use this as a frame or a link in something. So that's why I only just did a few on that one. And then the antique brass findings are kind of the same. There's a pair of, what are those? Head pins. And then another lobster clasp, a couple of spacer beads in there, some jump rings. This one also has jump rings too. So that is the collection. And then since y'all are watching, oh, wait, no. What am I doing? I hit a button. Am I still? Okay, good. I hit a button on my stream and I was like, uh-oh, what did I just do? But since y'all are watching, y'all get a sneak peek at the project for the Italian getaway. So this is the project that I came up with. Oh, come on, get out of there. There we go. So you make a bag charm, luggage charm, some sort of charm, something like that, if you want to call it that. And my daughter last minute had given me the idea of a lot of people her age, she's 16, a lot of girls her age like to wear these as bracelets. So I had included in this portion of the kit, there's extra jump rings to make it longer. So I only have in the kit enough to do this many delicas because these are delicas. And delicas are quite expensive. So I only have enough just to do this plus a little bit more. You get a little bit more just in case you get a delica that doesn't work and things like that. That's broken. But then I added the extra jump rings. That way you can make it longer. So if you wanted to wear it around your wrist, you could. But you get this cute little pasta charm. You get the wine glass, which I thought was just amazing. Those are CZs around the wine glass again. And then, of course, I had to add a tassel. So, India, if you're watching this or you watch the rerun, I'm sorry I had to add the tassel. So that's the tutorial for the Italian getaway. So, let me get these all cleared off, and then I will show you the Sunset Fiesta. Let me get that off to the side. So Sunset Fiesta, we're going to start off with my little dude. So this one is just so cute. I don't know if I can get him. Yeah, you can pretty much see him. Let's see if I can get him closer and focus. Nope, that's about it. So this is my little dude. He's so cute. But it's just a little cactus playing the guitar, wearing some sunglasses, and has a sombrero on it. I mean, that to me just says fiesta. And he's, very much 3D. So he's real sparkly cactus and everything. So he's just really, really cute. He is a little hefty. He is kind of heavy. So it's one of those things that you can probably use it as a pendant, but it's going to make your necklace kind of hefty. So it's just, I thought he was just too cute. I just had to add him in there. And he's got a cute little spring ring and everything, and a couple of jump rings that go along with it. So then, oh, thanks, Colleen. You can do a lot with those 4 links. Yeah, you can, really. Do you have a community page? I do. It should be on my site. I should have a community page. I've had other people in the past post a couple of things, but yeah, I mean, if you're wanting to post something, absolutely, I will definitely look at anything that you're working at. Oh, I love that dude. Yeah, I do. He's so cute. He's my little dude. And then this is the gemstone for this one. This is the main gemstone is Mookite. So you get some gemstone rounds. These are 6mm rounds, a couple of hearts, and then I've got some really nice rondelles. These are grade A rondelles, so they're really good, nice rondelles. And of course, you get some chips because I like my chips. And then you get a couple of star charms, and actually it worked out perfect. So this is the front part of the charm where it's really, really, really sparkly, and then the back side is a little bit more dull. So if you don't like the sparkle, 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 then you can dull it out just a little bit by using the back side of the charm. So that's the first strand. This one doesn't have as many strands as the other one. And this one, I found these really cool lampwork beads, and I love working with lampwork just because they're so artistic and just, you know, it kind of goes along with my company theme and everything. So I like working with lampwork. And then you get a selection of bicone colors. There's 4 different colors. Yeah, 4 different colors of bicones. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then these two are the same on either end. And then these are some triangles right here. And then there's Miyuki seed beads in between. And then this one has cute little flower charms on either end. And they're gold on the back. And then you get the cute little red and yellow flower on that side. So something fun to work with. And then this is actually an acrylic bead. So it is plastic. So this thing is very, very lightweight. But I just thought, you know, the color works perfect with it and everything. And so I thought, okay, we'll just put some daggers with it again. So I have different size daggers and then different colors. These two are actually the same color, other than this is a jet, and it's jet sunset. I think that's what it is, but it's etched, so it looks more sparkly. And then this is crystal sunset. And then the back side of it has a slightly different color to it every once in a while. So those are basically the same colors, just that this is a black bead, this is a crystal bead. And then you get these little smaller ones in between. And then I put this one off to the side also. Then you get some drucks and some more drops again. Just a little small selection of them. And then this one, when we eat Mexican food as a family, we typically have a margarita along with our Mexican food. So I saw these little margarita charms on an Etsy site, and I was just like, okay, these are cute. I got to get these. And so I got little red ones just because it went with the palette a little bit better. This is more of kind of almost a fuchsia color red, so it's not red, but it's close enough that I think it'll work really well with the colors. And then these are some carnelian beads right here. These are yellow opal right here. And then this is also a carnelian bead here in the center. And then these are drucks right here. And then the last one has more carnelian in it. So all the round beads are 6mm carnelians. And then you have some more of those cat's eye beads here. And then these are teacup beads. So I use these in bead weaving a lot. The teacups are on either side of those 6mm. And then these are Arcos Parpuca beads, are what they're called. And they're a 3-hole bead. I don't know if I can get the 3 holes to show up. Okay, there they are. So you got the one down the center, you got the one on one side, and then the third one's on the other side. So that's the last strand of that one. And then this one is a collection of Miyuki seed beads. So I think there were 5 different colors in here if I remember right. And it's just a collection of seed beads that I had. So this one actually did come from my stash. But it went along with this so well. And it's, you know, just a nice little collection of 11 OC beads. And then you have your findings pack. So you have some lobster clasps in there again. You have a toggle, you have a couple different ear wires to use. And then this one, I was able to find the Figaro mother and son chain. We had gotten this in a bargain bead box. I think it was September last year. And I really liked this because this larger link right here is actually a jump ring. So you can open it up and not have to cut all your stuff apart and everything. So I really liked this type of chain, and I was able to find this at another site. So I was like, yay! So you get some of that. So that is the Sunset Fiesta. And by the way, Colleen, this thing was amazing for using my seed beads. It was amazing. So definitely a really good, nice little free gift. I love it. I used that with my seed beads. It was so much easier to get them out. So this is going to be the project for the Sunset Fiesta. So I wanted to do something that was a little bit different than the bead weaving, and the project itself was a little bit different. So I start off showing you how to do some wire wrapping with your, these are not carnelian, they are a quartz, they're a dyed quartz. Had to think about what it was. So you start off with, I show you how to do that, and then you have some yellow opal that you can use in your wire working around the hoop itself, and then you have some garnet beads too. So there's garnet and yellow opal also, as well as the orange Miyuki sea beads. So that is the project for that one. So that's a creative color challenge for this month. So if you haven't yet, you can follow those links down below and vote for which one that you prefer. And then on the 21st, the poll ends. And on the 22nd, when I get up in that morning, not sure exactly when, so I don't say an actual time, but when I get up in the morning, whenever that ends up being, I will see which one won, and that will be the video that will come out in that following week. Here, I'll go ahead and go this way again since I have nothing on my mat at the moment. So that'll be the video that comes out in the following week. It'll be from the 22nd to the 28th, I think. Yeah, 28th. And will be either one of those tutorials. And then once the tutorial is released, both the tutorial, the kits, and the collections and everything will also be released on my Etsy at that time too. The thing I'm doing different this time is that most of the time I would just have whoever the winner is, and then the runner-up would eventually come like a couple of months later, something like that. I'm doing it different this time, that the winner will have the collection available, and then you'll have probably 5 collections. I think this time I'm only going to be able to do 5 collections, I believe. And I'll have those extra strands available also. So I'll have at least 5, sometimes 6, because sometimes I was able to get a couple extra strands because I had extra beads left over. So I'll have at least 5 strands, if not a little bit more available. So if you wanted to buy extra, you could. And then the thing that's also different, is that I'm going to have the runner-up collection available as well. The only thing about that one, I haven't quite 100% decided if I'm going to do the 5 and 5, just I'm doing the original, the winner, or if I'm just going to do it as just all the strands available. So all 10 or 11 strands that I was able to get together, or more, depending on what it is, that type of thing. So we'll see. I'll figure out that part officially once we get to that part on the 22nd. So that's the creative color challenge. So I'm kind of excited about it. It's fun. It's different. I was able to basically get June, July, and August almost pretty much set. And I'm starting to work on September already. And September is my birthday month. So I'm trying to make this one a little bit special. So we'll see what happens. But how am I supposed to choose? That's the point. You got to make a choice. Unless you have more than one account, you can vote for one and then come back and vote for the other one. If you wanted to do it that way. Alrighty, so that is all of that. I am going to get my bargain bead box out, because I have looked at it, but I haven't looked at it, if that makes any sense. So, and I actually haven't watched anybody else's unboxing yet. I'm like really behind on watching unboxings too. So I kind of, I pulled it all out the day that I got it, but I was working on other things and, all this other good stuff. Oh, these are cute. Ooh, I like these. Those are the bicones that came in it because they're slightly different colors. Ooh. Crystal bicone and varied grain AB. I might be using those. All right. And then these are pretty. The faceted rondelles. And that looks like cherry quartz. Yep, okay. Because I know we got cherry and strawberry quartz in this. And then that's strawberry quartz. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell which one's cherry and which one's strawberry. Let's see. I love these charms that she put in here. These little strawberry charms. I'm so behind too. It's like, well, you know this as well, Colleen. It's like putting these collections together. Man, they're a lot of fun, but they are a lot of work though. But it is a lot of fun. But I love these little charms. So maybe I'll make a pair of earrings with these. It's like I'm kind of trying to use this YouTube live as my, yeah, I really like that, as my video for Bargain Bead Box, because I haven't done a video for them in a couple of months again. So I'm trying to use that as that. Oh, I really like that. That's another really good color. Are these? No, these are darks. No. Faceted round beads and dark jade. I can really read. I really can. Alright, so... Oh yeah, that's right. I remember seeing these lampwork beads. These were so cute. Because I kind of want to see if I can get together a set. A necklace, bracelet, and earring set today. I don't know if I'm going to have the voice to be able to get all of it done, but we'll see. Yeah, I really like those. Okay, so these most likely, yeah, flowers. We're going to need something to kind of break it up. I'm not so much into leaves. I'm not sure why. I've always had some issues with leaves. Miss Nina, you haven't seen me because I don't get notifications in time. Feel free to let me know through Messenger anytime. Okay, sure. I will definitely do that, Miss Dawn. Yes, I will definitely do that. Ooh, they match your red nail polish. Yeah. And I did. So I'm getting ready for the 4th. Oh, I never talked about Gemstone Orphanage. All right. Well, that starts on the 29th. So, but that's why I have my nails done this way, because I have the stars and the stripes. So, but I've gotten a couple of comments and everything about my nails over the last couple of weeks, and I went in today to go get it redone today, and Lourdes is the lady that does my nails. She's like, "What are we doing today?" And I said the same thing. She's like, "All right, let me go find the colors." So I'm pretty sure I had people looking at me around, because there's, I think, maybe 3 or 4 other ladies, and they're all like, "What is she doing?" Looking over there. It's funny. But yeah, yeah, it does match my nails really well. But yeah, this is going to be a fun 4th of July. All right, let me move the empty beads bags out of the way. And I like these. So I want some gemstones in there, but I don't want too much sparkly, because we can always add sparkle later. And I love these. These are so cool that she was able to find something like this and be able to make it affordable to where everybody could have a large amount. I think mine's closed. Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if mine was open or not, but I really like that, where you have all these different sizes and everything, but they're still close enough that if you wanted a pair of earrings, even in the large one, or if you wanted the 2 little bitty small ones over here off to the side, that they're similar enough to where you can use them in that fashion. And then you get the round ones in there too. So I really liked that. And then, so I might leave those out. I might work with those in a little while. Oh, those are 2 holes. Oh, that's cool. Sterling silver plated brass vine links. Oh, that's neat. You'll be sure, and please let me know when that lives go happening. I definitely don't want to miss that. All right. Yeah, because we'll have with Gemstone Orphanage, I think Chrissy is going to be putting something out on Facebook if she hasn't already. There is, I'm having issues with my Facebook, so I hope I can get in. I had a link from I'll go back to facing because I'm just sitting here standing, showing my hand. I had a link from a family member that had something on it that said, rest in peace or something like that. And I'm like, wait, what? So I had accidentally clicked on it with my trimmer, and sometimes, because this is how I am today, and every once in a while when I'm scrolling through things, I accidentally click on things and I don't mean to. And I accidentally clicked on that without actually reading everything. And I got a notification on my phone saying your phone's been hacked. So I don't know if that was real or not. But I immediately turned off my phone, turned off Facebook, did everything, turned it back on, changed all my passwords. So now Facebook is acting a little weird. So I'm hoping I don't have to shut down my Facebook, because I've had it I was still in pharmacy school when I had started that. So probably the early 2000s, somewhere around in there. So I've had it for a long time. I usually only really use my Facebook as just kind of a family thing, to try to keep in touch with my family. But so yeah, that's kind of messing up on me. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get on the Facebook soon. But I know Chrissy's supposed to be putting something up on Facebook soon on the Gemstone Orphanage page that lists everything out and who's going to be doing what. And we'll each have, there's 5 of us doing it. It's, let me see if I can remember the rotation. I believe it's me on the 29th. I think it's Colleen on the 30th. I believe Becky on the 1st, and then Jenny on the 2nd, and then Chrissy on the 3rd. I'm pretty sure that was the release dates and everything. And then on the 4th, we're all going to get together and do a live together. So the live is actually going to be on my channel. So that will, yeah, I got to figure out how to do the live too. I know how to do live with one person. Now I got to figure out how to do it with multiple people. So we'll get that figured out over the next couple of weeks, obviously, or else we're going to have problems. So anyways, so that's what's happening with my Facebook. So hopefully I can get into my Facebook and get that fixed and everything. There again, just some time. But these are actually 2 holes. That's kind of cool. There's a hole over here off to the left and then on the right. I didn't realize that. So those are really neat. And they're sterling silver. So that's neat too. So I don't think I'm going to use those in this though. Yeah, I'm excited, Colleen. It's going to be fun. It's like I have so many things that I've already purchased over the years, because my husband's into the Americana theme to begin with. And so we have things, kind of throughout the house and everything that's already Americana themed. And so I'm going to be using a few of those things that we have around the house. Chips. I forgot we had chips. Those are actually nuggets, but close enough. Chips, nuggets, just about the same thing. But so yeah, I'm excited about this one. I'll probably actually get my green screen out. I'm not going to use green screen for it for the live, but I have different color shades. I have the green one, obviously, and then I have a white one and a black one. So I'll probably get one of those other 2 colors out and then have stuff up in the background and stuff like that. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I'm going to feel so goofy on that thing. People are going to see a side of me that they're going to be like, oh, is she like that in real life? Only when I'm goofy. Only when I feel goofy. It's going to be fun. I already bought a special. Yes! I saw a hat the other day at Walgreens. And darn it, I said it again. Anyways, I saw a hat at the place of work. And I almost bought it. And I almost sent it to you. Because I was like, you need to have this. but I did not. And so yeah, so hopefully I'm sure your hat is probably even more special than the one that I saw, but I immediately thought of the hats that you wear and stuff. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. All right, so now, do I have any wire that I can use? I do. I have 22 gauge. Do I have any 20? I have not replenished my wire yet. But I have purchased new pliers. I found the set, I believe, Colleen, that you have, where it has the, whatever that is, the nylon gel stuff in the center and everything. So I bought a new set of these because I was actually looking for the new cutters, and I found these on a site somewhere, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat. And I think they were like $30 or something like that. And I'm like, wow, that's really expensive. It's like, do I really want to spend $30 on another set of pliers? Well, then I went to, I think it's called Art Beads. It's one of the places that Softflex sometimes does things with. And I went to their site, and they had the whole set. This whole set was like, I think $70 or $80 or something like that. And I had just signed up with their site, and I had some discount codes that I could use and different stuff like that. So I ended up getting the whole set for like maybe $20 more than just the one pair of pliers itself. And then I got myself another smaller set of pliers. So yay, I have new cutters now. I don't have to fight with it anymore. But I just haven't had a chance to get caught up on my wire purchasing. I have some gold 20 gauge up there, but I have, let's see, no, that's 22. I have more 22 than I have anything up here right now. But that's okay. All right, so I'm going to use 22 gauge. This is the platinum colored one, or pewter colored one. Not platinum. All right. I think I'm going to make a pair of earrings. I just don't know what yet. What in the heck happened there? All right, cut this guy off. Nice little hook there. It's almost kind of scary. Let's see. I'm just going to cut off a section of it. I'm not going to leave it on the spool this time. I love them. The cutters are garbage, unfortunately. LOL, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's, you know, mine were kind of like that already to begin with. So I think anything at the moment is better than what I had. Because mine were just not working. So one of those things. When I did start doing some research, I found some other pliers. Whoops, that went in the direction I wasn't expecting. The one of the places that I get some of my items from is called Rio Grande, just like the river. And I get a lot of my sterling silver from them. I'll get my gold filled items from them, things like that. And they sell obviously some really nice high-end pliers. And one of the things that I was doing research on their site, they were saying that the pliers like we have in this set only cut like craft wire and what's the name? Copper wire. That if you're cutting stainless steel and sometimes even like the higher end stuff like the gold filled and gold, solid gold and things like that, that you need a different set of pliers that's actually made for that. And I was not aware of that. There again, it's probably because I don't do that much of wire working and I'm still kind of learning and how to do that and everything. So that was something that was kind of interesting to me to learn that. All right, I'm probably going to do one or two guys of these. So that was something, whoops, I knew I was going to do that. That was something that was interesting that I learned. Oh, and then the other thing that was interesting, I learned this on Becky and Jenny's channel a couple of lives ago, that Pony brand needles that I use on every single one of my projects are not, they're not nickel free. So they have nickel on them. And I did not know that. because I typically have a sensitivity to nickel. I don't have an allergy, because there is a difference. Sensitivity is where you just have, maybe a little small rash, or, and, it just irritates it in your skin or something like that. It may be like a little painful, something like that, but an actual allergy is kind of similar to what Jenny unfortunately goes through, where there's blistering and there's, a real actual allergy to something. So there is a difference between a sensitivity and an allergy. But I didn't know that that was the case until I was on their live, and I just happened to get on in that one little spot where they were talking about it, and Becky, I think, was talking about it, saying that the Pony brand needles are not nickel free. So I started looking into it, and I'm like, oh wait, but now there's Pony Black. The Pony Black needles are nickel free. So they're not nickel plated. They're also colorized, so you can actually kind of see the eye of the needle a little easier. So I ended up purchasing some of these. So this will be something that will be available within the collections as well. So that way, if you have a nickel allergy, or if you're concerned about it, then you can always just put a note in the checkout in on my Etsy site when you're checking out with the stuff, and just say, hey, can you give me a nickel free needle? And then I'll just put that one in there instead of the other needle, because you'll get a needle with the Italian kit, if that's the kit that went, the Italian kit will be up there sometime or another, but that'll come with that kit. So, and that was something else I didn't know up until recently. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I've been bead weaving for I don't know how many years now, and I didn't know that. So, something fun, something neat. One of those things you never really think of, and then when it comes across, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. All right, let's see. This one I might be able to just undo. Probably why I didn't like them, because I do a lot of German style wire. Yeah. And I think German style wire is thicker, I believe. So, okay, come on. Yeah, I've just been sticking with craft wire lately until I can kind of get things a little bit more under control, knowing what I'm doing and how much I'm using and when to leave it on the spool, when to not leave it on the spool, just different things like that, because I don't want to waste really good wire. But the other thing about Rio Grande, which however you want to pronounce it, and we learned it both ways in school since I'm from Texas. But anyways, the other thing about them is that they do recycling also. So if you use solid gold products or solid silver products, things like that, then they do recycling. So they'll take your little pieces and stuff and recycle them for you. And then sometimes you can get money back for it. That was something I looked at a couple of years ago. But I'm still using craft wire, so I really don't do very much with it at all. I'm just going to start off by making a loop, and then I'm going to wrap it. I don't know why I did this so small, but I did. Yeah. I don't know why I did this so small, but I did. All right. Hold on to it that way. I love the education that gets shared amongst friends. Yeah, me too. I definitely do. Because I'm very much a person that I like to... This probably comes from me being a pharmacist, though, too. I like to try to tell people, the truth about everything. And, don't leave anything out type thing. Now, of course, sometimes the truth scares people, especially when you're talking about medical stuff. So I am careful with that at work. But when it comes to something like this, I try my hardest to let you know, all right, well, this is what I found out. And this is something I didn't know in the past. And I am not ashamed or afraid to tell you that I just didn't know it. That's one thing that a lot of people are afraid to do, especially when they're in the corporate world. Because working in pharmacy, you're retail, but you're also corporate too. Depending on where you work for and stuff like that. But that is something that I have told my new management, because we've gotten new management recently, that I told my new managers, I'm like, look, I'm not afraid to tell you I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know how to do this. That's not something, that's something that's going to come out of my mouth frequently, because I'm going to tell you if I'm having issues and I really have no clue how to do it. So just something to kind of think of if anybody's watching this and they're in that position where, they're working with a boss that they're afraid to talk to, or they are not quite sure if that boss is one that will help you with something. Don't be afraid to sit there and tell somebody you don't know how to do it. It's one way people can learn is just sitting there telling people. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm talking and I am just kind of working. So hopefully this is going to look good, because I'm just talking and working. But anyways, so it's one of those things that, somebody out there may need to listen to that. And, don't be afraid to talk to your boss. Don't be afraid to sit there and tell them, I'm sorry, I have no idea how to do this. I saw my new pharmacy manager yesterday, and I told her exactly that. There was something that she was requesting for me to do, and I was not aware that it was due the day that she came in to talk to me yesterday. I was not aware that that was the case, and I wasn't quite sure how to finish it anyway. So, and I told her that. I was like, I've never had to do this in the past, and I'm not sure what to do. And she said, all right, so let's talk through it. And we did. So now I kind of know how I have to fix it. And she gave me another week. So a lot of managers are like that. A lot of managers are there to help you. I am in a management position, for those that didn't know. Okay, that kind of worked out good, because I'm kind of thinking about just attaching it to this and just have a cute little dangle. Now it's kind of making me wonder, should I do the necklace like this? Because we have several of these. Okay, I'll play with it for a little bit. Maybe I'll do 2 different links. I'll do this one, and then I'll do a different link, maybe with the green beads. I have these out for some reason. I just started dumping bags, and I don't even know why I dumped the bag. That's always fun. Let's see. But yeah, don't be afraid to sit there and talk to your boss. Most of your bosses are there to help you, to help educate you. They didn't get to their spot, straight out of college for no reason. Not saying that my boss got to her spot straight out of college. She did not. But, it's, your bosses are there for a reason. And, don't be upset if you ask your boss a question and he or she says, I'll have to get back with you on that, because I'm not quite sure myself. Whoops. Let's try not to make a mess, Dina. Because that can happen too. Because sometimes there could be that question or 2 or 3 that pop up and your boss is like, I've never been asked that before. Let me figure out how to fix that. So that can happen too. All right, so there's that one. I may make just a couple of different links just to kind of get an idea. Oh, I'm getting behind again. We know what we know, and we know it, and not a second sooner. Very true. Very, very true. All right, so I'm going to start. No, I need to give myself a little bit more room this time. Who was I watching? Linda. Linda from, what is her thing? Gumnut Lane Jewelry, I think, if I remember correctly. I was watching her on how to do the loops. And she was given some really good pointers on how to do the loops and everything. So hopefully I'm doing these a little bit better than what I've done in the past. Should I connect this first before I do that? I can always just make one single one and then I can connect them later. I'll do that. I'll make a single one. Just remember, Dina, you gotta connect these if you're gonna do this connected ways. It's like I started working on the earring and now I'm kind of thinking I might be working on the necklace instead. And I don't know where we're at. We're at 3 o'clock. Okay. I told my daughter I wouldn't be on for any longer than 4. So, and it kind of also depends on how my voice goes. Because I have a long shift. Had my long shift yesterday and I have another long shift again tomorrow. So I'm talking all day at work and then do this and then I talk all day at work again the next day. So, all right, let's do one with the green. This maybe we'll do... Do I want to start with that though? Come on. I used to never use bead caps, but I really like the look of that now, where you get that and it just wraps around the bead. Kind of sticks out every once in a while depending on the type of bead that you're using and the type of bead cap and everything, the size and stuff like that. But I used to never use bead caps and now I use them quite a bit. Let's see. Or should I do a bicone on either end? Because the wire would... Let's do that. I'm thinking, because I thought at first, well, maybe I want silver on either end, but then the loop on the wire would kind of make up for the potential of a seed bead sitting there or something else silver sitting there. And then that way you still have... Yeah, I think I like that better. Because I was going to do 2 of the cherry quartz, I don't know, the rounds on either end and the bicone in the center, and I just didn't think that was going to work out right. So I think I like that better. I love stacking bead caps. Amy Campbell is really good at doing that. Stacking bead caps. So putting them on kind of like, you know, one after another, and then just using different types of bead caps. Something like that, but it would be just 2 different types or whatever the case is. I know Jesse James beads, a lot of their bead strands that you can purchase, a lot of their bead strands are like that, where they have different bead caps one after another like that. Usually 2 different kinds and even metal colors. Yeah, and I like to mix metal colors, if you couldn't tell with my collections. And both of them have both antique brass and gold on it. The ones next month are different colors. Not everything's antique brass and gold. I keep covering up my cutters. And that might be too small. To do anything else with. Oh, I really like that one. It's very, very floral-like. Oops. And then that might actually look better. Ooh, yeah, I really like that. All right. So I can make more of those. Yeah, that's probably not enough. So I think now I'm going to leave some of this on the spool. And it sounds like my daughter's getting the dog out. That's one thing I haven't talked about was Captain. Captain is now 6 months old and huge. He is, we took him to the vet last week, and he is now 56 pounds, I think, and 6 months old. He is now taller than Casper. So when he's standing on his all fours, he's now taller than Casper. And yeah, he's huge. So we're still having some problems with biting. I don't know where that went. I just dropped it and I don't know where it went. We're still having some issues with biting. You can actually, yeah, you can see it right there. So he keeps biting me in my arms. I think about a week ago, I had bruises all up and down my arm and everything. He got me really good right here last night, but it actually didn't bruise, I don't think. It was a little discolored this morning, but it actually doesn't look like it's that bad. But yeah, he's been biting and stuff like that. So we're trying to get him out of that. And, you know, it's one of those things. He is a puppy, so he is still learning. He just looks like he's a full-grown dog, but he is a puppy. So he's getting better with it. And then we had this tropical storm potential that came by yesterday that ended up, and they were thinking it was going to go straight up along the coast here in the Houston area, and then end up going to Louisiana, and I think all the way up into Tennessee and things like that. So I don't know, you might be getting some rain from it soon if you haven't already, Colleen. So rain may be on the way if it's not already there. But we were supposed to have gotten that come through yesterday, and it decided to take a different path, and it pretty much stayed in the water a little bit longer than they thought it was going to, and went straight to Louisiana instead. But my mother-in-law lives along the coast, so we had gone down to go get her, and just in case they lost power or anything like that in the city that she lives in, which, you know, she lives on her own, so she's very much, she can take care of herself, but it's just kind of an inconvenience with her age and everything. So we usually try to go get her, and then she was actually in this room the last couple of nights, or I guess that was Tuesday. No, I think she did. She only stayed Tuesday, I think, because she went home yesterday when my husband realized that the tropical storm's not going to make it to here, and that there's sunny skies all throughout Houston. So he drove her home again last night. But she was in here, and we were kind of concerned with Captain, with jumping and with biting her, because she is older. You know, her skin is starting to get a little thin. So we were kind of concerned about the biting and stuff like that. And he did so well with her. He would walk up to her and sniff her, and then like lick her hands. And then that's all he would do, is just sit there and lick her hands. He kind of nibbled on her a little bit, but when I say nibble, I mean like just like little small things like that, to where Mom was just like, yeah, I didn't feel hardly any of that. She's like, it doesn't hurt. I didn't feel it. Nothing. So we're like, all right. So he actually did so much better than what we were expecting him to do. So at least what he does with Michaela and I. So, but he doesn't necessarily bite Henry too much. He pretty much is like, all right, Henry's the boss of the house, and I gotta do what Henry's telling me, you know, what Daddy's telling me to do. So he doesn't really bite Henry too much anymore. He did at the beginning. I was like, we're getting better with me, but it's still kind of an issue, so it is what it is. Betty Jones, hi, how are you? Love the green and pink bead link at Copy Your Design. Great inspiration. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, since you just came in, we are working with the Bargain Bead Box, the Strawberry Soirée. And I say that as a question mark because I'm not sure how to pronounce it, which is the June Bargain Bead Box. And I typically have a tutorial that comes out using the Bargain Bead Box. And I've been having some other things going on this last month, medical wise and stuff, and just videos. I just have not had time to record as many videos as I usually do. So eventually they'll come back out again. So I'm kind of using this live as just we're working with the Bargain Bead Box, and this is kind of my Bargain Bead Box video, I think. But I love getting the Bargain Bead Box. It's so much fun getting the collections and stuff. I spend so much money on beads. It's kind of crazy. I know I'm not alone in that statement. Alright, so I'm going to make earrings first, and then I think I'm going to try to do maybe a necklace and do a chain necklace with this. I don't know how long I'll be able to get all these done, but I'll go for at least another 45 minutes, see how my voice is going. And I was saying earlier, I'm just kind of going. I'm just like working, and I'm not really talking about what I'm doing so much as just talking about different things that are going on. So, all right. So I want to add that link before I finish this, because I want the link to dangle from this, and then this part I will put on. Let's see, can I get to it this way? I might be able to get through it. I love these bent nose pliers. These are so cool. It's another pair of pliers that I had of my other ones, my blue ones that I used to use all the time. I have bent nose in those, and I just never used them. And then when I got this set, it doesn't come with the flat nose pliers. It just comes with the chain nose and then these bent nose. And that's kind of, I'm going to have to do that 3 times. And so I started using the bent nose a little bit more often, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. These work really well because you can get into that small spot. And I know I just made 3 loops, but I wanted it to look better. I want it to be a little bit tighter up there and not have so much, wire sticking through. So I may have to do 3 loops on the other one too. Oh, hello. There it goes. Oh, Jenny, you're back. Hey. Just finished reading with Mom and saw you're still on. Looks like I just left before call got here. Hi, big sis. Yeah, I think she might be still here. She might be just doing stuff in the background. Yeah, I wanted to try to stay on for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Because since I haven't been doing so many videos, that ends up being really kind of cute. I like it. Alright, let's make the other one. But since I haven't been doing so many videos lately, because the medical stuff that's been going on, then I wanted to try to stay on for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Just kind of depends on how my voice goes. Alright. Doing this loop, and then open it up before I forget to put the charm on. Whoops. Close it up first. I guess I could have used these 2. And then the bent nose pliers. Alright, shaking, quit. There we go. And Jenny, since you're back on again, I'll probably message you through our chat and try to see if we can set up a time that we can try to figure out, or I can try to figure out how to get multiple people on a live. So, and see if we can set that up sometime. I did a little bit of research on it, and so I think I might figured out how to do it, but I did that research probably about 3 weeks ago. So I got to go find it again because it's in one of my chats and chat GPT thingamajiggies. So I have to go try to find it again and figure out how to do it again. Yeah, we need to test that. Yeah. Yeah, so we don't get to that day and then something happen and I'll be like, well, and we're going to this person's place now. So, but I'll get with you with that soon. It's like I'm off today, but it may be tomorrow, either tonight or tomorrow. I'll message you and we'll figure out something. All right, so that's gonna be my earrings. Do I have ear wires up here? I do. I usually keep a package of ear wires handy, just in case I decide to come up with something. All right. See if I can open these up. These are stainless steel. Sometimes they're a pain to open. All right. Strawberry to the front. Oh, did I do these in the right direction? I may have done the loops in the wrong direction. Well, that's backwards. Yeah, the loops are in the wrong direction. Okay, so the loop is like this. So I need to twist my loops. All right. Easily fixable. Okay, so we're going to grab onto one of these. And then we're going to use, whoops. All right, come on. Okay, maybe try this way. Come on, grab on. Left hand, you can do it. And then we're going to twist. And then that way, the loops are perpendicular. And I think that fits on better. Let's see what it does. Let's see, that's the front of the earring. That's the back of the earring, Dina. That's the front of the earring. All right, yay, that's the way it needs to go. So your top loop needs to face you. Your bottom loop needs to go away from you. Okay, got it. And then close these up. Those are super cute. Thank you. All right. I kind of like these too. I was wearing a pink shirt the other day. May have to wear my pink shirt again and wear these earrings. All right, so let's fix this loop and then we'll get this earring done and then I'll just start working on a few links with the wire. And I'm probably going to run out of wire, which is really going to make me have to buy some more wire. All right, and then twist that one to where it's perpendicular. And Betty, I like the pink link, but we'll do the opposite. Only one pink bead and then two of the spacers on each end. For me, it seems more balanced and lighter. Yep, it definitely can be. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. That's the one I... There we go. Yeah, I'm kind of one of those girls that's not really a pink girl. I don't wear a lot of pink. It looks good on me, color-wise, but it's just not my favorite color. So I don't have a whole lot of pink and red stuff. I'm more of a blue, green, purple girl, and it probably has something to do with my eye color since my eyes are green. So I wear a lot of different greens and a lot of blues and purples and stuff like that. Yay! All right, so I have my cute little earrings. Okay, so earrings are done. So now, all right, rate limiting factor is going to be these spacer beads. How many came in this thing? Let's see, that's 5, 10. You can tell I work in a pharmacy. 15, 17. Counting by fives. Pharmacy people, we usually count by fives. Some of us count by threes. I count by fives. I can't do threes. I can, but I mess up a lot of times. All right, so what did I say? 17. So we can make 17 of those links. That might be like too many. All right, so what I need to do is figure out... Oh, this thing came with chain too. Maybe I just make... Let's see. Should I do this one, start with this one, this link, the green link and then move into the red link and then have another green link and then have like, let's just say 5 green links. I'm just throwing out a number. I don't know if I'm going to do that many, but maybe 5 green links and then 4 red ones, or should I flip it? Have the red first and then the green. What do y'all think? What size wire are you using for the wraps? I am actually doing 22 gauge right now, and that's only because I don't have 20 here at the house. I have one thing of 20 up there and it's gold, and so I only have this of the 22 gauge, and then I think I have like a very small amount of silver, but this is the pewter plater. The pewter plater. We're going to Dina E's again. All right, so this is the pewter plated color from Soft Flex. So it's a little bit darker over gray. So I usually use this one when I do antique silver, but I'm doing the 22 gauge. So Dina E's comes out quite a bit in the pharmacy, especially when I start getting tired of talking. All right, I'm going to make maybe just a couple more and see which pattern I like better. What am I doing? And then we have these lampwork beads too. I may end up just doing something different with the lampwork. These are so cool. They look like little strawberries. Those are neat. Where are my round nose? I'm going to warm up some of the wire again real quick. All right. Let's do 2 more of each, or 1 more of each, I mean, so that way I can kind of see which one I prefer, and then I can just do links in between to connect everything together. That's what I'll do. All right, we'll do 1 more of that one. You mentioned you have green eyes. I also have green eyes. Have you ever Googled them? Apparently we're very... Oh, really? Well, that's kind of neat. Yeah, I got my green eyes from my grandmother. I got a lot of stuff from my grandmother. My name is one of them. My green eyes, my hair color. We had all of that similar. One thing that she did not give me was her green thumb. She's very much into gardening, and I cannot save a flower to save my life. So I had a hibiscus tree for the longest, and I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, it lasted longer than 2 months. It lasted 2 years, and then we had a weird freeze here in the Houston area one year, and there it went. And that's the last thing I bought, and that was probably maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So I've kind of given up on gardening, but yeah, my grandmother, I was named after my grandma. It was always really interesting when we would go visit them, because they used to live in the St. Louis area, and when they were still alive, I lost my grandmother in... When did I get married? I got married in 2003. She passed away a month after my wedding, or a month and a half after my wedding. And then my grandfather passed away just before it got crazy with COVID. So we actually ended up not having a funeral for him because of the craziness of COVID. So, but yeah, she and I had a lot in common. It's kind of weird how things like that happen sometimes. How genetics works and things like that. I also have green eyes. Oh, I didn't know that, Jenny. You know, that's the hard thing about the seeing on videos and lives and stuff like that. It's hard to tell people's eye color. Green links first, and got it 22 pewter plated. Ha! I think I like that one first too, but I'm gonna do 1 more of each, and then I'll do my double check. get a spider plant or a regular ivy. Those are hard to kill. I've killed them. That's how I got started. I have killed an ivy plant. I even have succulents. I have even done that. And I have killed those. I've had a cactus. I've killed it. It's one of those things. It's like I love plants. I love flowers. I love having nature. I'm going to have to do 3 loops on this one. Oh well, handmade. That's when you know it's handmade. Anyways, but I love nature and everything, but nature for whatever reason does not love me. When it says, oh my God, Dina's going to have to take care of me, I'm out of here. So yeah, it's one of those things. All right, so we're thinking we're going to do this other way. And I'm leaving the beads on the spool so I don't use as much wire that way. Beaded plant for you then. I like that idea. I really do like that idea, actually. Because they even have Legos that are out that have plants. So... So, and I've thought about getting a Lego plant. You know, for Mother's Day, that was actually one of my things I was thinking about putting on my very short Mother's Day list that I come up with. And I thought, no, my husband's going to think I've lost my mind. But yeah, I may have to make a beaded plant. And then go, yay, I can't kill this one until it drops because it's glass, until it drops off the shelf or something and then shatters. That would be me. That would happen to me. Just because somebody up above is just wants to make fun of me or something, you know. Ay, ay, ay. All right. And then after I get this done, I'll figure out how many I'm going to do. I'm probably only going to do a couple more links and then I'll finish it off with chain. Whoops. I'm trying to make it about the same here. It's like getting the flower thing was even bad enough to where some of my neighbors were saying stuff about it. Oh man, I had one of my neighbors one time. I was out in front and I was trying to plant a couple of things, a couple of, oh, I don't remember which ones they are. There's annuals and perennials, and whichever one, I think it's the annuals that come up once a year. I was planting some of those so I wouldn't have to do planting all the time. So I was planting some of those, and one of my neighbors is leaving his house, and he drove by. He's like, "Trying again, huh?" And I started laughing. I was like, "I'm trying." And yeah, I haven't really done very much gardening after that. It's one of those things that I've talked to my husband about it. I'm like, eventually, I really want to get some sort of a not a lawn service, but a gardening service that will come in and say, all right, let's redo your yard and we're going to put all of these plants in and they're low maintenance. All you have to do is just water them and then see if I can keep them alive. So I do have plants out in the front. And so I do have plants, but they are shrubs and yeah, there's 2 different types of shrubs out there. There's trees because I live in the woods basically. So yeah, there's a bunch of trees, and then there used to be a lily flower that would come up every year, and it's actually if you're on friends with me on my Facebook, it's my little Facebook picture is the picture of that lily, and that used to come up every year, and then probably about 5 or 6 years ago, it quit coming up. So I guess it just never reseeded itself. So the leaves still sprout, but I'm not getting any flower from it anymore. But I had that in the front, and I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else in the front yet anymore. I think the rest of it is just dirt and grass. We have bluebonnets that come up. The family that had lived in this house before us, and by the way, I think I kind of like this combo, starting with the green and ending with the green. All right. So, but the family before us, they decided to plant bluebonnets, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it is in other states, but I know here in the state of Texas, it is actually illegal to mow or pick a bluebonnet. It's one of those really old law thingies that it's actually illegal to do that. So our guy that takes care of our lawn, he doesn't mow the front yard whenever the bluebonnets are blooming. So we actually still have a few of them in bloom right now in the front yard. Most of them are starting to seed, and he even knows enough to leave it alone when they're seeding, even, so he knows that they spread. So I think perennials are every year, annuals are once and done. Yeah, it's something like that. I never remember it correctly. I remember because perennials are perpetual, well, for 3 or more years. Yeah, I found that out the hard way. Luckily I didn't get in trouble. Yeah, there's some people, because there was who was it? I forget what service it was, but it's a local service in the area, and I actually haven't seen them around very much anymore, so I don't know if they just don't do this area anymore or not. But we used to have a strip of grass on one of those streets to get out of my neighborhood. There is just a really long strip of grass, and there's a it's not really a nature preserve back there, but there's just a really wooded area. I think it's one of the retention ponds areas. Actually, I think it's some of the creeks, the man-made creeks and stuff like that. I think that's what it is. But there's a long strip of just grass in front of it, and a company had come through because it used to be completely filled with bluebonnets. Like it was a perfect place that if you wanted to go take a picture of with bluebonnets with your kids or something like that, it was a perfect place for that, because there's trees on either side, and so you're able to have shade at certain times of the day, and perfect place for it. Well, this service came in, and they mowed the whole thing. Bluebonnets were in full bloom, and they mowed it to the ground. There were so many of us that live in this area that contacted the area that I live in, and we were like, are you aware that this happened? And like I said, I haven't really seen that service in a long time, so I think they were asked not to come back. But, so yeah, sometimes people don't understand or don't know, and some of these services, not all of them, but some of them are employees of, well, I have 6 in here. Oh well, I'll make 3 more. Some of these people are, started out in a different country. So a lot of the people that live here in this area are of Mexican descent, and they may not know. They just may not be aware that that's a thing here in Texas. So, and if that was the case, they know now. So, is what it is. All right, so if I do, let's see. So I'm probably going to end up making more than I thought I was going to make. I need to make another one of these. Do it halfway. No, yes, I don't know. Hold on, we'll do it this way. So talking to myself out loud. Which that happens at the store too, and people get really confused. They're like, Dina, are you okay over there? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. It's like, well, it sounds like you're talking to yourself. Yep, it sure does. And I'll yell at the computer too. which sometimes it's in an inconvenient time because there may be somebody at the register at the store that maybe is not very happy about certain circumstances, and here I am yelling at the computer. So I have to be careful with that. Sometimes I've done that in the past, and that person's whipped their head around the corner and, what did you just say? I don't know. What did I just say? I'm sorry. So I've gotten myself in trouble with doing that too. So I gotta be careful with that. But when I'm here at the house, I yell at the computer quite a bit. I'm like, what are you doing, computer? I didn't tell you to do that. Okay, so since this needs to get linked to that, we're going to put this guy on first. And then somehow hold on to this so I can wrap it. Eventually, one of these days, whenever I get caught up on things and have a little extra money with the business, I'm gonna get myself a new camera, I think. So I'm not having to use my phone all the time. Because I like using the phone. It's convenient, but you can't see hardly anything I'm doing because I'm so far away. And I can't figure out how to get it to zoom, because it does that where it flops back and forth, where it's like zooming, but it's just, I don't know. And it's not very comfortable to have something holding way up here when all my lights are sitting right here. It's hard to see. So, and my one camera still works. I just can't get it to work on my lives for whatever reason. It's just weird. I can record on it, no problem, because that's what I record my videos when I have been doing them on that. But for whatever reason, it doesn't want to work outside of that. All right. I just went out in the field and picked a whole bunch of different kinds of flowers and put them on my desk. Oh, yep. Whoops. Like, there you go. You know, it's one of those things. You don't know it's something you're not supposed to do until you do it. And then somebody's like, wait a second. By the way. And I used to be like that too when I had a bunch of when I was younger, when I was a kid, I used to pick up a bunch of flowers and stuff and pick them and bring them in the house. And my mom was always like, why are you picking those? Why are you not getting the flowers out of the garden? Because my mom, that was a horrible rap. And so my mom was really good at gardening also. So my dad's house has beautiful flowers in the front yard that are still there, even though my mom passed away 29 years ago. And so, yeah. So she's able to pick out some nice things. And my dad does a little bit of gardening. He hasn't been doing as much lately because he's not been 100%. He's having some issues with walking and things. But, which I forgot to tell my dad and my sister that I was going live today. I just remembered that. Whoops. Alright, so I have a lot of links done. Alright, so let's do another link in between these two so I can, well, that one, but if I do that, then I need one for here. I'm trying to figure out how to connect these all together without having to do too many more extra links. Because I think I might end up having an extra one. Alright. Because So if I do 2 more green ones on either end here, and on the green one, I can connect this one, but then I can't connect it here because I've already closed that one off. So I think I'm going to have to do another red one, and then I can do the green. Or I can do 2 greens. I'm so thinking out loud. Sorry, guys. I can do 2 greens. And then connect. Okay, let's see. Let's just do this. Oops, that's not open. That's why it's having problems. All right, put that open, put that back on, close that back up. And of course I did this in this way, so I don't know why. I'm just going to take those off because I have a feeling those are going to go flying here in a second. And then we'll finish this one off. So this is probably not the best way of doing links. Doing so many individual ones and then realizing that you're probably got too many individual ones and then you're trying to figure out how to get them together. But it is what it is, and I'm working with what I got. There we go. Now I can put these back on. Let's see. Where are we sitting on time? 3:45. Alright, let's see if I can get this done. In about 15-20 minutes or so. Alright, so there's that one. And then we're going to open this guy up. And we're going to attach this one that I already made. Okay, and this one's long enough. I should be able to do this. Oops. Let's see, is that enough? Yep, 2 loops will work. Doing 2 loops on most of them, 2 wraps I mean. 2 wraps on it most of the time. Sometimes I'm having to do 3 just because I get a little too far away from the bead compared to the other times. Alright, so now I just need to make 1 more green and 1 more red, and then I can connect them. Oh, and then I need to make 1 more green for over here, because if I'm starting with green and ending with green. Okay. So let's take this one off, because I'm going to do, actually no, I can leave that one on, because I'm going to do the red first. Let's put that back on. Aye, wrong one. And there we go. All right. I haven't worn this wire in a little while, I don't think either. All right, a couple more links, and then I'll probably get it attached to some chain, and I'll use jump wires for the chain because I've already closed off the links on the other ends. Because if I would have thought about it beforehand, I would have left this link open, and then the last one that I do, leave that one open, and then attach the chain that way. But I did not think of that, so I do believe I'm just going to do it this way. I did it again. Okay, we're going to attach it to this one. I forgot to add the red. That's fine. After I get this one done, I'll add the red link to the wire. It's really short. And I'm trying to hold this up if I can, but I'm having to hold it down a little bit more because I'm having to rest my hand, because if I'm up like this, it's a really good shaky day today. So like, I honestly can't remember if I took my medicine this morning or not to help out with my shaking. Way to go, pharmacist. Let's be non-compliant with your medications. Seems like it happens like that a lot, though. People in healthcare usually are the ones that are not very great with whatever they do in healthcare. That happens a lot. Alright, so then this one's going to have to go this way. Now, should I close this one off right away? I can, because I'm going to attach the red one to here, and then the other side's going to go to here. Okay, thinking this through. Alright. Oh, that slipped out of my hands. Alright, so I can close this one off. And then the red one gets attached to both of the greens before it gets closed off. Oh gosh. Alright, that one's gonna have to be 3 loops again. Oh, Captain found his squeaky toy. I don't know if y'all can hear the squeakiness in the background or not, but because he's in the other room and I have the door closed and all. But if you hear squeaking, then that's probably Captain playing with his squeaky toy. He does like his squeaky toy. That is for sure. Alright, let's make one more red link. And then I have the other green link to make. And then we'll figure out. And I'm not paying attention to which side I'm putting these flower beads on, because they're 5-point flowers, so the hole goes through one of the petals and then comes out in between the 2 petals, and I'm not paying attention to which way I'm going on those. I'm just stringing it on and going. I am, though, however, paying attention to the rondelles. I'm using the rondelles that are a little bit more pink, because there are several rondelles that are very light colored pink, so I'm using the ones that are a little bit more of a darker shade. Try to make them about a little bit more consistent with each other. That's not something that you have to do with gemstones. It's one of those things that it just kind of depends on the look that you're looking for and whatever project that you're doing. Alright, so open that up a little bit. We're going to attach it to one of these sides. And then wrap that around. Oh gosh. Okay, good. Kind of getting, not knowing what to talk about anymore. That time of the feed, not knowing what to say. So sorry I'm not talking so much. I haven't played with this box at all yet. It's been busy here. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been busy. I second and third that comment, Jenny. But yeah, this is the first time I've actually, when I got it in the mail, I think I got it in the mail last week sometime. When I got it in the mail, I looked at it. I opened it up and I looked at all the different bags and stuff. But outside of that, I haven't. This is the first time I've touched it since I've gotten it. Outside of that. So, it's a good color combination. There again, not my favorite because it's pink. But, like I said earlier, I wear a lot of pink stuff because the color looks good on me. But there again, I'm also not making jewelry that's specifically something that I'm going to like. You can tell I'm getting tired. I'm starting to make really large loops and everything. They're kind of getting away from me. It's all right. There again, that's when you know it's handmade. When your loops are not the same, that they're similar, but they're not exact, and you got 3 wraps around one link and then 2 around the other, and so on. So, alright, so there is most of it. I think that's going to be a pretty good length, and then I can just add chain to make it however long I want it to make it. I'm starting to fill up my legs too. I may add the chain afterwards and just put a picture up on a post here in a little while showing you what it looks like. I may have to go for a walk for a little while. My legs are starting to kind of cramp up. So I'm going to finish this link, and then I'll probably be done after that. Because my legs are starting to tell me, yep, it's time to start moving around again. Alright. So, with this last link, I'll probably go ahead and tell y'all instead I will be back. It's like I plan on being back in 2 weeks, which is right before the 4th. It'll be the Thursday before the 4th of July, which I think is the 2nd, because I think the 4th is a Saturday. So I will be back on that day. And then the following time, which will be the middle of the month, I am going to have to skip that one because I am taking my daughter to a college, and we're going to tour a college here in Texas. So that's starting. I'm not sure how this mama feels about that, but that's starting. So we're going to go do that on that Thursday. So I won't be able to do a live on that Thursday because it's an all-day thing. She has us, she chose all the places, all the things that she wanted to do. And so she chose everything, and she's like, yeah, we have our first meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, and our last one is at 5 o'clock in the evening. I'm like, what? So, yeah, that's going to be a fun day. It'll be fun in many different ways, but so we're going to be doing that. And then that last Thursday, because I think there's 3 Thursdays that I'll be doing lives in July. I'm pretty sure it's next month that happens. It may be August, but I think it's next month. But that next one, I'll be back on that next one, or at least I'm planning on it. All right. So then that is the rest of that. Let me measure this so y'all know how much this is. Find one of my measuring tapes so you can kind of get an idea. And I like to wear 18-inch necklaces is typically what I do. So I will most likely just add chain on either end to amount to about 17 inches. I'm trying to make sure all the links are even, that they're not wrapped around or anything. So this is a little over 11 inches. So I'll put just 2 chain links on either end that will make it to about 17 inches. And then I'll add a lobster clasp. And then more than likely I'll do a extender chain, and I might even make a little drop or something to go down the bottom. So just something that will sit along the neck like that. And one thing you could do if you're deciding to do something similar to this, on the one that you put here in the center, you can always bend it a little bit to where it's more curved. And then Captain's getting into something. I hear my daughter yelling at him. But you can always bend it a little bit so it's a little bit more curved, so it's not straight across like that. And then that way it'll sit a little bit easier on your neck and everything too, especially if you're wanting to do this more of like a choker length or anything. So something like that. So I'm going to put some chain on the end. I'll put a picture up when I'm done with it. And then these were my earrings that I made if you came in late. So very cute, very nice, very cute, and not the exact things, but close enough to where you can wear them together if you wanted to. So, alrighty. Oops. Okay. Find your mouse. There we go. So with that, I am going to go ahead and say goodbye for today. I've been on for, yep, exactly 2 hours now. It's 4 o'clock. Alrighty, so thanks for everybody for watching, and I'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll do another one, and it'll be a tutorial. I don't know exactly what we'll be doing yet, but most likely it'll be something that will come from the winner of the Creative Color Challenge. So there again, if you haven't voted for the Creative Color Challenge, there is a link down below in the description of this video. And there's also a link to the unboxing video too. So you can go and watch the unboxing and then come back and vote for whichever one you feel is your favorite. And then that next YouTube Live in 2 weeks will be an extra project from that collection. So if you decide to buy the collection, then I'll have something else you can make with it. So I will see y'all in 2 weeks, and we'll make another new artistic creation together. Bye, guys.